This episode of Let's Knit Together is sponsored by yarnmarket.com. Fabulous fashions, fast and friendly.
Hi there, I'm Kat. Let's knit together. Today, the epic conclusion of our trip to Alaska. After leaving Anchorage, we headed by train to the port of Whittier, where we boarded the Island Princess. The ship was enormous. Inside, it was like a great big floating hotel.
Emerald, Deck 8.
As we got underway, I sat on the balcony enjoying the view and knitting on my smoke ring from the Qiviut I bought in Fairbanks. On the second day at sea, we cruised into Glacier Bay, where we saw several 1,000-year-old glaciers.
It's awe-inspiring, unbelievable. You can see like the years of building up the ice and the beginning of the decay. It's just incredible.
Our first port of call was a small village called Skagway. Unfortunately, there were heavy rains, so we didn't go into town to any local yarn shops. We did, however, manage to board an old train to see the trail from the gold rush days up to the Canadian border. Next, we stopped at Juneau, the capital of Alaska. There, we took a helicopter tour out to some of the glaciers. We landed and were able to walk around on the glacier. It was the most incredible thing that I've ever done. To be standing on layers and layers of ice that have been there for thousands of years was just fantastic, like a different world. Oh, and a little dangerous too. Don't step in that hole. It goes down a long, long way. On the bus ride back from the heliport, the driver dropped us off in town and we found a local yarn shop, Skeins Fine Yarn, right on South Franklin Street. The Fairbanks Fiberistas had mentioned the shop to us, so I was excited to get the time to see it. As you enter the shop, watch out for the dog lounging in the front door. What is it with dogs and yarn shops? Once inside, I saw many yarns I was familiar with, like Noro and Cascade, but tucked away in a drawer was some lovely Qiviut, and on the far wall was some yarn from Ravenfrog, a local dyer. The owner, Nancy, was very sweet, and I left the shop with a few skeins of lovely yarn, some Tree Hugger's Wife fiber, and a great mug as a memento of the visit. As the ship pulled away from the dock at Juneau, I decided to relax and knit on the balcony.
This is my Qiviut Nachaq, or smoke ring, that I'm doing that's based on the true Inuit stitch pattern. And I've been working on this since the beginning of the trip when we bought this yarn in Fairbanks. It's also the first day I'm wearing my sweater because it's not raining. And I got to wear my sweater while we're sitting out here on the balcony of our stateroom on the ship.
The next port we pulled into was Ketchikan, another rainy day. Instead of going on a scheduled excursion, Eric and I ventured through the town. We were looking for a local yarn store that I'd heard about on Ravelry. We eventually found Mission Street Arts and Fibers. Sherry, the owner, was so friendly and the shop was quite spacious. There were lots of great hard-to-find yarns like County, as well as some from local dyers. Later in the day, Sherry graciously drove us to her other shop called The Point, located right on the water near where the locals shop. The Point is a combination yarn and bead shop, as well as an art gallery with weaving, clocks, jewelry, and paintings. Tucked in the back of the store with a great view were all the knitters working on their projects and sipping coffee. The store carried the more traditional natural yarns like Cascade and lots of lovely sock yarns.
Ketchikan is one of the 100 art communities in America. We have a lot of artisans that do watercolors, oils, acrylics, glass, fiberglass, pottery, the clocks, and I'm always looking for something different, something that you don't find in a mail order catalog, something that's created by hand and not by machine. or in a factory. There's a lot of really, really awesome, talented artists out there who have a really good creative edge. And so it's my job to go seek them out and bring them in so that I could show the people who come here from all over the world something different.
Is there a large knitting community here in Ketchikan?
Yeah, I think so. We have actually, there's 3 places you can buy yarn: Walmart, the craft store, and here. And so we all know Walmart doesn't have quite enough to make any one big item like a sweater. And the craft store carries the other kinds of brands that we don't carry. So we complement each other in that respect, so that there is something for everybody in town. All price ranges, all knitting levels. There's the acrylic yarn across the street for grandmas knitting afghans, and then we carry more of the fibers that are more natural, and the more we carry, the more knitters we develop, I think. So yeah, we have a nice community, and they are all also online all the time, getting inspired by everybody else's knitting, and so yeah.
It was really nice to have the opportunity to visit with the local Alaska knitters in the heart of their own community. This was our last stop in Alaska, and I was sad the trip was coming to a close.
I have lots of Qiviut left, so I think I'll be able to make a pretty nice project. I guess I'll be finishing it after the trip is over, but this will be my remembrance of Alaska. My personal souvenir experience. I'll remember I was sitting where I was sitting and where I was listening to books or what kind of sites I was looking at the time, and every time I wear this, I'll remember that.
Alaska was an amazing adventure that we really enjoyed, and now I have this great smoke ring to remember the whole trip. Our next live show is on Saturday, February 27th at 6 p.m. Eastern. Go to letsknittogether.com/live for details. Yarn Market recently introduced a new exclusive yarn called Fabulous Felines Chunky Yarn. This quality chunky yarn has been hand-dyed by Iris Scherer of Art Yarns to capture the many colors of cats. Each color is named after an actual cat whose photo was submitted by a knitter. From Baby to Fred, these cats inspired beautiful yarns that are perfect for a project for yourself or your cat. Imagine a pillow knitted with baby blue to share with your cat. So check out Fabulous Felines at yarnmarket.com. And remember, if you happen to find yourself shopping there, leave a comment at checkout thanking them for sponsoring our show. One of my favorite books, Mason-Dixon Knitting, The Curious Knitter's Guide, just came out in paperback. We interviewed Ann and Kay at Rhinebeck in episode 62, and they are 2 of the funniest writers on the web. This book, which was their first one, is not only hilarious with their witty stories, but has some awesome patterns too. The publisher sent me a copy of the new paperback, so we're going to give it away to one lucky winner. Just leave a comment on this episode, number 66, by February 15th with the answer to this question. What was your funniest knitting moment? Tell us about it. We'll pick one of the comments at random and send you the copy of this book.
We were going to go on the glacier and have dignation shirt on, but we had all the life vests and everything like bundled up, so we didn't have it.